sometimes, like I'm going back to your own terms, sometimes we need to not be self-centric. That's what you said. And, pull yourself out of yourself and look around what's happening. Look at other people, feel their emotions as well, feel their difficulties as well. But yeah, that is true. And that's exactly what one should aim for, because even if I had to work, and despite the fact that I've had a bad day, despite the fact that I know that possibly I may not perform well at work, I should stop and I should address what I'm feeling and try to get a quick or a short term solution for it, so that I'm able to focus better at work.
Wonderful.
So, yes, definitely. That's what I've experienced quite a few times at work. Bad commute or whatever reason, I reach work, and in fact, I used to not do it before, and I should thank my boss for this. Couple of times she noticed how I used to just straight walk in and just start through my day, charging through my day. So she stopped me and she's like, "Okay, take a breather, think, relax yourself, drink a glass of water, head to what you're doing." And when I started doing that, when I inculcated that, because I do take advices, I do take criticism, constructive criticism. When I started applying that, I saw a positive shift in my working attitude, and it definitely helps to nurture those qualities. So yes, 100% I agree with you on that.
Okay, so you put a nice context there. So a pause would help. Uh, do you
Right.
think then the pause is also attached to the attention itself? If we just pause enough to see ourselves, manage our whatever the concern is. So, for example, if we were to go back to that friend of that colleague that I was talking about, uh, so when she goes to pick up that document and has to come back, she just needs to pause and tell the other person to wait for a while. I'll come back to you. I have this
Right.
look. I have to go attend the meeting and finish it off. So that
Yes.
pause gives you that just that extra second uh, to take advantage of what you're doing in a better manner, in a more focused manner. Do you think this
Yeah,
pause will be
absolutely.
to attention because of the
Yes,
example you gave?
because yeah, sorry. Absolutely, because when you take that pause, so we very commonly hear the statement that you should not react, you should respond. So what essentially happens is, when you take that pause, you don't react. You don't blurt out what you blurt out of your impulse. You think for a moment, you think, okay, I have to do this. And this work seems like something I can do later. So I can request them to wait for me. So yes, absolutely. It definitely helps.
Okay. Um, so far, I just want to bring into context the certain values that have come up. We started with the example of it's not easy to pay attention because we are different kinds of people and our focus itself is different, like you said. Some people
Yeah,
like to do too many things at once,
right.
what is very uh, wrongly put as multitasking and was known as jack of all trades, master of none earlier. So,
Right.
societal changes affect all of us, so it's seen differently. But you're saying there are different kinds of people, but we kind of agreed on that a focused mind can give better results at whatever we decide, and it might be as simple as knowing what kind of coffee you want to doing your work better, and then connected it to how when we are content and calm ourselves, we pass on the calmness to others as well. So you decided to share the example of even a bad commute on a day might not necessarily result in a bad day because you just took that breather and then you calm down, and that calmness or uh, that ability that you have decided to come to the fore and as a therapist, as a person. um, so again, in that sense of allowing yourself space to uh, accept that things may not be exactly what you want, but you got to accept, and also a sense of healthy sense of let go perhaps. uh, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter, it's happened and it's gone. so I didn't have water then, or I missed the bus, or I didn't get a seat. So it's okay. Um, now one little question I want to ask you at this point, because of this example of the bus, I because of my dad's upbringing specifically, he used to offer seats every time we traveled. So I got into that habit, and there have been times like in a 20-minute ride, I have offered 5 different people my seat again and again and again, and still got a seat to reach home. So it's quite a funny example at times. Uh, I have found that this sense of goodness then tends to also give me a lot of strength. And by strength, I actually mean strength. I feel empowered during that moment, not as tired, um, not as wavered in my thinking. It's more focused, it's more happier, it's more content. Things are still as bad. I am in the crowded bus or train, whatever the case may be, or things may be difficult, but they don't perturb me too much. I'm like, yeah, it's okay. It happens sometimes. So, do you think developing this kind of attitude of focus and a sense of calmness also, because focus by itself, even snipers are quite focused, but they kill people. So, it's not
Yes.
necessarily a good trait to have unless your morality is in place. But if one develops a sense of calmness, has a certain moral choice about being honest with one's um, thought processes, do you think it gives us power? It gives us strength? Have
Yes.
you experienced something like that?
Yes. Absolutely. I have experienced a lot of situations. It first of all, it's a beautiful thing that you do offer your seat, despite the fact that you would have to go through the discomfort. And what I feel essentially that you get out of it is this sense of peace, like you said, this sense of it's like an accomplishment to do something better, to do something positive.
Yeah,
So that it impacts another person positively. um I don't know how this works, but it's always like, people do say that people, or when you read certain things, it does mention that negative thoughts can overpower your mind. It can just capture your mind, and positivity just dies down and stuff like that. But for me, I've always been like an infectiously optimistic person. So I feel that when you do something positive, when you do something nice, it has the power to impact um, your whole state of mind, your whole, your walk changes the minute you do something nice. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you behave, everything changes. So I feel it's quite a powerful but underrated uh, pointer that you mentioned there. It's a very, very good quality to be able to make a sacrifice and get happiness out of it. But uh, what I like to point out here is that despite the fact that the body's um, in discomfort when you offer someone else seat, it doesn't matter. It's physical. The mind rules all. So the positivity is more powerful there. And yes, I have experienced that so many times. In my life, at work, in my college, when so just a few days back, I was talking to my mom about this classmate I had, who um, who was very shy and very, very reserved. And due to whatever reason, the person was made fun of by people in my class. And when I was growing up, I used to be, I would say, I don't want to boast, but I used to be good at a fair amount of things. And I used to be that person who would score well, who would be good in subjects. But despite all that, when I saw another person, this person who suffered this, I always had compassion. So not sympathy, I had compassion, because I used to feel that, he's just like me. And for me, it mattered more to nurture those friendships rather than nurturing what accolades I was getting. So, something that other people deem as happiness couldn't necessarily be the same for me. And I felt that, if I be with that person through their pain, even if it's hurting me, that, I'm feeling sorry that he's in pain, it still gives me happiness. It still gives me positivity. The person feels positive. So, yes,
There is
that's what I have experienced.
there's one little point I want to bring up because I've often wanted to, but I have never been able to dissect it in my mind well enough. Uh, I am actually quite a pessimist by nature, and in the sense of I like it. I like that life cannot be trusted and things are always going to go wrong, and that's why one has to be at one's best, what one can do at all times in every manner. You give it your all. You do not take anything for granted. uh, Hope doesn't exist only in my dictionary. Hope and all are very loose words which are bandied about that this is going to happen. That is, you make things happen as much as you can make them. Then if it doesn't happen, then you try again and you keep doing it. But it's not going to happen. But that's none of your concern. So I think sometimes that ignorance of the fact that it may happen, you keep fighting. You keep doing what you want because that is being true to your own authentic feeling of doing something. It is no longer result based that it will things will turn out for the better or not, or it doesn't matter at all. But you got to keep working. There is doing, and there is the rest of it is thought. It doesn't matter what your thoughts are. Are you doing or aren't you? So why the delineation that happened very nicely in my head was when you used the word optimistic, and I was thinking, but I am now just going to break her heart and I'm going to say pessimistic about this aspect. But it now struck me, it is optimism in your own self that you are going to try. That intent is always optimistic. The the ability to take your responsibility and your duty honestly, authentically, uh, fanatically, if need be, is the place where that optimism arises. The rest of it, that life is going to change and things are not going to fall in place, and you may not win the race, you may not get the job, your results might not be what you wanted. All that is, any which ways, all those things are, my understanding is all those things are out of our control. What is
Right.
in your control? You can study as much you want. You will pass or fail is in the examiner's hand.
Right.
Similarly, you can try as much as you can, but the job may come to you or may not come to you. You may say, "Oh, I know so and so person, and his niece is working as his nephew is working there," but it doesn't always fall in place. Somebody else may know somebody who has more contacts than you have. So there's always the chance of something going wrong. And sometimes even when you get what you want, it's not what you thought it is. So
Right.
so sometimes because the cheese pizza example came up, I had a friend and we used to spend a entire week at a coffee shop in my neighborhood. And he's the only guy that I had that particular pizza with. And I used to tell him, man, I not before you, not after you. We've had that bad pizza day after day for 7 days because we were so engrossed in your work that we seemed to love what we were eating.
Right.
Because the attention was never on the pizza, it was always on work. So in a very funny way, it connects back to attention. Sometimes when not paying attention is beneficial to bad experience. But yeah, the
Right.
focus. Um, I want to definitely end on the note of where focus is there. It's a good thing to develop. One can work towards it. That is the first step to being successful in anything that we undertake. Only then can we. And it's. I think I'd read a line which said something on the lines of love is giving attention, something like that. And I
Yeah.
think it's true of everything that we do at any point of time. Sometimes it is just as simple as when you're taking a bath or you're just eating a meal, and it may be the simplest meal. but you're eating it with a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Of late, I think during the lockdown, all of us had such experiences where you had to make do with what was available during those days. And suddenly you said it's not that bad. I think it crossed my mind quite a couple of times. Okay, why do I create a ruckus about this? This works quite fine. Or if you had to do something, some work, and I used to put up jokes on Facebook about my sweeping and mopping experiments, and there were a lot of people who kind of it resonated with a lot of my friends, and they took it in the right spirit. They used to make jokes. I used to make jokes that today I have been given a promotion. Today I was allowed to mop the house, stuff like that.
Right.
And see, paying attention brings a lot of uh, joy in that moment itself. And maybe that also leads to the other beneficial states like compassion. You can only be compassionate when you're first compassionate with yourself. When you are saying, okay,
Right.
you had a bad day commuting, but it's okay. Okay, don't worry, Priya. Some tomorrow will be okay for us. But let's concentrate and help this guy out. He looks in a bad state, and uh, I
Right.
think this has been a wonderful random talk. I've also been unable to take a linear look at things, but small good values have come up, uh, real everyday values rather than those bookish ideals that one can't live up to. So
Right.
I want to thank you for such a lovely chat, for your time,
Thank you.
and I'll see you soon. Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.